USC earns their first Big Ten road win under Lincoln Riley, beating Purdue 33-17. Purdue did cover that 20.5 line. That's an area where I was incorrect. I thought USC would cover here, but who knows? Maybe if not for the, what was it, 3 hour and 15-minute rain delay, maybe USC comes out with more fire and pep in their step. A rain delay like that is only going to help a team in Purdue who's at home and is going to be much more desperate, I think, given the home field advantage, given the placement and the tradition of upsets that's always going to get a crowd like Purdue to show up, fill out the stadium, and be absolutely on fire. Look, it's a good win for USC. Was it the best win in the world? Hell no. But was it program inspiring? Not program changing, but program inspiring? Yeah. And you won by double digits, and the game was really never in doubt. It was scary at times, but USC maintained a consistent lead. It never looked like they were going full-blown choke. Maybe there were the itchings of it starting, but they never actually got to that point. Before I resume, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bells, and comment your thoughts down below. I love your engagement. Don't just hit the notification bell for my main channel. Hit the bell for any team playlists attached to the video if interested. If your team is not there or you're not interested, please navigate to my home channel page. Check out the playlists tab. Your team will be there if it's a Power 4 team. And hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I cover that specific team. If you want additional content, bonus content, sign up as a paid member of the channel with the appropriate tier. I also give priority reply to members. And check out our Discord server. It's free. You get to interact with me. I get to pop in there. And the Discord server will notify you when we go live or when I upload videos. And they were aggressive, I think, when they needed to be, and conservative when they needed to be. And that's the hallmark of good coaching. Purdue's well coached. I thought that Barry Odom did a good job calling the game with Ryan Brown. And Purdue has, I think they have a better defense and better offense than I certainly expected. And I didn't really know what to expect of Purdue in this game. That's what made it so hard to predict, really. I didn't know what to expect. And that's what happens when you replace half the roster, for example. And yet, here we are. And I think both things can be true, that Purdue has improved from last year dramatically, but so has USC. That's kind of my main takeaway from this game. I mean, USC controlled the clock. They averaged 10 yards per pass attempt. It's the third game in a row with Maava averaging 10 or more yards per pass attempt and a 90 or greater QBR. USC, they forced 3 interceptions. They housed 1 for 6. That's Jamal Jarrett. USC, once again, had double-digit tackles for loss and 5 or more sacks. Now, Purdue had 7 TFLs and 2 sacks. I think that USC's offensive line, watching that game, certainly has some things to, reevaluate. I think that they could certainly use DJ Wingfield or last year's rushing offensive line, or that offensive line from 2022 with Voorhees and some really good players there. But USC's 3-0, 1-0 in the Big Ten. They won the rushing attack too. Sack adjusted, 4.8 yards per carry for 187 yards. Purdue, 97 rushing yards for 4.2 yards per attempt, but held to under 100. And USC led for much of this game. Much of the game they led for. They were 4 of 13 on third down, not very good, but then 4 of 4 on fourth down. They were aggressive when they needed to be and conservative when they needed to be. At no point in the game did USC's win probability dip below 87%. They were just in control the whole time. Again, the game was never really in doubt. At one point, USC led 20-3. The closest Purdue ever got was within 13. It's the closest they ever got outside of the beginning of the game. Although technically 10-3 second quarter when Purdue kicked that field goal. But still, late in the game when Purdue regained some momentum on that awesome, backwards pass to the quarterback to Ryan Brown with the offensive line in front of him. Outside of when Purdue regained some momentum, USC was pretty much in control for that entire performance. It was a good effort. It was a good win. You return home to play Michigan State at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. And I think that USC, as I said in the preseason, they're a college football playoff team. I don't know if they're a national title contender. The advanced analytics would say so, but if you're a national title contender, you hope to beat Purdue by more than 16 points. But a win's a win, especially when last year you didn't win any road games in Big Ten Conference play. A win is a win at that point. So Purdue, I think they have a bright future ahead of them, at least relative to what they had under Ryan Walters, this time under Barry Odom. And USC is certainly a better team than they were last year. I think that's the biggest takeaway I can have from preseason research in the first 25% of USC's season. First Big Ten road win, USC is better. In fact, I would argue that they are better by 2 touchdowns relative to last year. Purdue is too. Purdue's probably superior by more than 2 touchdowns compared to what they were last year. I think last year's USC, if they played Purdue on the road, would have actually beaten them by probably 30 points. Even with USC's anti-clutchness, Purdue was just that bad last year under Ryan Walters, even though they had some really good players. Will Helt at Clemson, Cole Brevard at Purdue, Max Clare at Ohio State. Had some really, really good players. Ryan Brown, he looks much better this year than he did last year with the Boilermakers. So I think USC is clearly better. 2 touchdowns better, again. And so is Purdue. Maava, I want to focus on a little bit more. Because Maava, for whatever reason, and maybe it was the star rating, maybe it was because he didn't look so good last year when he filled in for Miller Moss, and then when he eventually started, part of me doubted his ceiling and ability to be really effective. I thought that he would be much better than he was last year and better than Miller Moss, but I kind of had him pegged as a top 20, top 15 quarterback and not much better. He has a 215.5 passer rating through 3 games, 6 touchdowns, a 94.3 QBR, which is first in America, 989 passing yards. He has 24 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He does not have the speed of Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts. He's not Caleb Williams, like talent-wise, but he is better than I think a lot of people realize, better than I realized. So I'm going to come out and say right now that he's really good. He's impressed me. He's overachieved relative to my expectations. I want to see him in a bigger game against a better opponent. Michigan State should be significantly better than Purdue. Probably won't be a better test, though, given Michigan State's woes in pass defense and pass rush. So we may have to wait until Illinois, who they play in Week 5. That'll be a really fun game to preview because Illinois' defense is absolutely legit. That's one thing I can take away from watching their first 3 games. But Maava, I think, is a dog. I think he has that winning instinct in him. I think he's clutch. I think him and Riley have cleaned up their issues that they had last year, both Riley's play calling and Maava's propensity to turn over the football. I love what I'm seeing out of him. And USC's defense is physical. Now, Jamal Jarrett's a big guy, and he can move that way and have the awareness to catch that ball in the air. And they fought. And when you force double-digit TFLs and that many sacks, you're doing something right. I really love what Lynn and Henderson and Ryan and Belk have done. I really love what they've done and how they've transformed this defense. It is so much better than the Grinch defense. Through, 3 games, let me see what USC is allowing in terms of points. They are allowing, 20, 13, 17. It's 50. 50 divided by 3 is just over 15 points. Yeah, it's 16.7 points per game is what they're allowing through 3 games. 16.7. Last year, through 3 games, they were allowing just a little under that. But Michigan's offense is probably worse than this year's Purdue offense at the time that USC played them. Utah State was pretty bad, and LSU's was one-dimensional. And then in 2023, through 3 games, they... Oh my gosh, this is insane. They allowed 52 points to San Jose State, Nevada, and Stanford, who as a collection are probably worse, or they're probably worse than Missouri. They're probably worse than Missouri State, Purdue, this version of Purdue at least, and Georgia Southern. So I'm impressed with what I'm seeing out of this defense for sure. And last but not least, to harken on my earlier point, both teams have improved. I think that both teams are undervalued. USC is only ranked 25th in the AP poll. From a resume standpoint, I get it, but I think from a power rating standpoint, they're a lock to be top 15 right now. And Purdue, I think with that effort against USC, given how good I thought USC was in the preseason, how I think these first 3 games have confirmed it, I believe that Purdue's going to upset someone on that schedule. You know, they beat their FCS opponent. They beat Ball State. They beat Ball State down pretty good. I think Purdue is going to, I don't know who it is, could be Illinois, could be Northwestern, could be Minnesota, Rutgers. I think one of those 4 teams, they have a really good chance, and not just one of them, maybe even 2. They have a really good chance of earning an upset against. I mean, both of these teams, their track record is that they are better than they have been in recent memory. Braum has shown Purdue can be successful. Carroll and even some years in the Clay Helton era and Lane Kiffin era have shown that USC can be successful, very successful in the 21st century. So I think these teams are regressing to the mean in terms of their track record in the 21st century. USC, I think, is building to be a national title contender in a few years, and Purdue is no longer going to be the pushover they were last year. Thank you so much for watching College Football with Sam. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bells, and comment your thoughts down below. Again, for the notification bells, don't just hit the bell for my main channel, hit it for any team playlists attached, or if you're not interested in those teams, navigate to my channel homepage, to the playlists tab. There will be a playlist for your favorite team if it's a Power 4 team. Hit the notification bell for that playlist so you can get notified when I mention them or talk about the conference broadly that they reside in. If you want bonus content, sign up as a paid member, and our Discord server is totally free. You get to interact with me and several other diehard football fans in there. So do those things. Most of them are free, and if you want to go the extra mile, there's always the Patreon page and YouTube memberships.